Hi boys and girls, well your challenge today is to learn something new about cold places, and I'm here in the ice cave at school and I'm going to read for you a book all about penguins to help us learn something new. This is called an information book, so it's not a made-up story. I love made-up stories, but sometimes these books are really good because they're filled with so many real information, facts. They're big words, aren't they? But this is called an information book. Can you say that? Information book. And it teaches us new things. It teaches us new things. Not like a story. A story is really fun to read and laugh at and enjoy. But this one helps us to learn new things. So this is a book all about penguins. I wonder if we could read a few pages and learn some new things about penguins. So it says, what is a penguin? Penguins are birds. Did you know a penguin was a type of bird? With chunky bodies and short, flat wings. These emperor penguins, can you see those? They're called emperor penguins. You might have learned, that might be something new that you've learned, that this one is called an emperor penguin. They are the biggest type of penguin. So the biggest penguin in the whole world is called the emperor penguin. It says at the bottom, there's a little fact. It says, unlike most birds, penguins cannot fly. So birds that we have where we live, like pigeons and crows, they can fly, can't they, and seagulls. But this kind of a bird, a penguin, it can't fly. So the biggest type of penguin is called an emperor penguin, and they can't fly. It says life in the cold. I think we're going to learn a little bit about where penguins live in this one. It says some penguins live in Antarctica. Can you say that word? Antarctica. That's a big word, isn't it? This is the coldest place on the whole earth. The most freezing cold place. Not like England where we live. Most of the land is covered in thick ice and snow all of the time. Can you imagine if when you came to school, every single road and all the pavements were covered with ice and snow? That's very different to where we live, isn't it? Sometimes we have a little bit of snow, but we don't always have lots of ice and snow like the Antarctica, where the penguins live. It says these penguins are standing on a huge floating block of ice called an iceberg. Can you see it there? This massive block of ice is floating in the water, and that's called an iceberg. Can you say that? Iceberg. So we've just learned that Antarctica is the coldest place on Earth. Can you give me a big shiver like this? The coldest place on the whole Earth, and that's where the penguins live. And what, did anybody listen? What is a massive block of ice that floats in the water? What's it called? It's called an iceberg. Iceberg. Okay, we're going to read a little bit more. This bit says, penguins' bodies keep them warm. A thick layer of fat under their skin keeps out the cold. So under their skin, they've got a thick layer inside their body of fat, and that keeps them really warm. Tightly packed feathers protect their skin from the icy wind and water. So they've got really, really, really tight feathers on their body here. And that helps to protect them from the icy wind. That means wind that when it hits them, it's so cold like ice. And the water as well. They often keep their wings close to their bodies to trap the heat. So when they've got some warmth on their body, they put their wings down tight and keep all that warm in. They can tuck their feet under their warm bodies too. They've got tiny little feet at the bottom, haven't they, penguins? Here, look. And they can tuck them in and keep nice and warm as well. They're clever, aren't they, how they can keep themselves warm when it's so cold where they live. They don't have the heating and the radiators like us, do they? All right, well, we'll read this one last page to learn about penguins. And it says that they are super swimmers. Are you good at swimming? Because penguins are very good at swimming. Penguins spend most of their lives at sea. That means they spend a long time in the sea. They use their strong wings to swim quickly underwater. Can you see that's a photograph of a real penguin there swimming under the water? He looks like a smaller one. I don't think he's an emperor penguin. He's a smaller type. Penguins jump into the sea, they swim underwater and hunt for food. They dive in and out of the water while they're swimming to rest their wings. So look, you can see that little penguin there. He's jumping out of the water to give his wings a rest from pushing in the water from swimming. When they've finished hunting, they leap out of the sea and onto the ice. Oh, I can see a picture there of the penguins jumping out of the sea and jumping onto the ice. Wow, they're really good swimmers, aren't they? Oh, look, it's told us here that this is a Humboldt penguin. A Humboldt penguin. It has short, smooth feathers that help it to move through the water easily. Wow. Isn't that cool what we've learned about penguins today? Maybe you could tell a grown-up in your house what you've just learned about penguins. The biggest one is called an emperor penguin. They live in the coldest place in the earth called the Antarctica. They are very good at keeping themselves warm with that layer of fat and their tight feathers. They can tuck their wings in and tuck their feet in, can't they? Keep themselves warm. And they're really good at swimming. Penguins are so good at swimming. They've got strong wings to swim and they dive in and out of the water to give their wings a rest, and they can leap out of the water when they've finished hunting for their food in the water. They must like to eat fish, do you think? So thank you for listening to my information book all about penguins, and I hope you've learned lots of new things. See you later.